Copper, silver, gold. What do they have in common? What makes them different? And which one's the best for you to stack? Well, let's talk about it today. What's going on, guys? It is Silver Forever, and today we're going to be talking about three different types of metals. We got copper, we got silver, we got gold, and you got questions about which one makes the most sense to stack. Let's talk about these three different metals. First, we have a base metal. We got copper. This one's in the design of the Liberty dollar, but it could be anything. It's just a simple copper round. These things are actually measured in avdp ounces. That's the exact same thing that you weigh yourself on in the scale in the morning. 28.3 grams per ounce, 16 ounces per pound, and these are cheaper than dirt. Each one of these rounds is about $2, maybe a little bit more, and if you actually do the math, since copper is around $4 a pound, these are a terrible deal. This is a terrible idea to be investing in copper rounds, in my opinion, because the premium is outlandish. Individually, each one of these copper rounds might only have about 25 cents in copper in it. And so if you're paying $2 per round, that's about 8 times the value of the copper that's inside. So in general, copper rounds are a terrible way to go if you're thinking about stacking or investing in metals. Now, secondly, we have the silver. We have the American Silver Eagle, the original Type 1 design here. And silver has a high premium as well, but it's so much smaller than the premium on something like copper. And it's only high relative to the premium of gold. So a ballpark value for this copper round in terms of just the metal inside, about 25 cents. How much is something like this Silver Eagle worth? Well, let's say in the ballpark of $25 in silver. And this 1 troy ounce gold coin, about $1,800. Yes, that's right, folks, $1,800. So let's do some mental math here. Each one of these 1 ounce rounds of copper is worth about 25 cents. Each one of these 1 troy ounce silver coins is worth about $25. And each one of these gold coins is worth about $1,800, which means that you would need about 100 of these copper rounds to equal the value of the metal content in 1 ounce of silver. If this is worth $25 and this is worth $1,800, that means that you would need about 72 of these silver coins to equal 1 of these gold coins in terms of their metal weight. So if it took 100 of these to equal 1 of these silver coins, and if it took 72 of these to equal 1 of these gold coins, well, then that means it would take 7,200 copper coins to equal the value of just 1 of these gold coins. Let's go ahead and do some weights. Some weights and measures, folks. So we are going to get measuring. We're going to go ahead and start measuring in grams so I can see the difference here between something like this, a copper round measured as avdp ounces, which is about 28.3, 28.4 grams. We see it coming in around 28.8 grams. And that's because people tend to put a little bit more rather than a little bit less in a coin, especially when you're talking about the base metals. It'll probably be a little bit closer with gold when it's so expensive just for every little fraction of a gram. Now, compared to a troy ounce, with this American Silver Eagle, we're coming in around 31.3 grams. Now we need at least 31.1 grams in here to equal a troy ounce. So there's the difference between an avdp ounce, avdp ounce, and the troy ounce. Now we're also going to be measuring a American Gold Eagle, which is also measured in troy ounces. This one's coming in at 34 grams. And why is that? Well, it's because it's not pure gold. There's actually a fraction of silver and copper in this coin as well. So instead of being 24 karat or 0.99 pure gold, it's actually closer to 91% pure It still has 1 troy ounce of gold in it, but the reason why we're weighing in here at over 31.1 grams is because there are other metals in here as well. And that's just kind of to make the coin a little bit harder and more durable. Not every mint does that. Many mints will do pure gold coins, mints like the Royal Canadian Mint. But you can kind of see side by side the color difference between something like an American Gold Eagle and a Canadian Mint pure gold product. A little more of a shiny yellow on the pure gold, a little more of a dull tannish brown color on the more durable Gold Eagles. Now let's see what this looks like if we change the mode up. So I'm changing the mode right now to ounces. By the way, if you're interested in the scale, check out the YouTube description. I have an Amazon affiliate link there for it. It's a great way to support the channel. This thing probably costs 10 or 15 bucks. I might get 90 cents if you buy it through my link. So yeah, do that. Even if you're buying something else, if you buy it through my link, I still get a cut of it. It costs no extra to you, and that's a great way to support the channel for products that you're going to be purchasing online anyway. So let's check this out. If we were to measure this in regular ounces, we got about 1.01 ounces. So those are the avdp ounces. Those are the ones that you're familiar with, whether it's from cooking or from weighing yourself. These are the ones where 16 ounces equals 1 pound. But if we were to measure an American Silver Eagle in avdp ounces, we're coming in at around 1.1 ounces. And that's because this weighs 31 grams and it only takes about 28 grams to equal an ounce. So if you took another tenth of that, 2.8, added it again, you're getting close to 31, which makes this 1.1 regular ounces. Now, we would expect it to be even higher with this American Gold Eagle because yes, it's closer to 1.2. This has the other silver and copper components in there because it's not completely pure gold as we remember. Now let's switch it up and go to troy ounces. OZT is what this reads. And now if we measure the avdp ounce, you see it only comes in at 0.9. So this is not a full troy ounce of copper, and I'm not getting cheated or anything. It's just that's how this stuff is measured. It's more of an industrial base metal, and it gets weighed in terms of avdp pounds or just the standard pounds or even tons at higher levels. Now if you were to measure the 1 troy ounce American Silver Eagle, you're going to find that it's about spot on. It's 1.00, maybe 1.01 with a little bit extra on top of there. And we don't mind a little bit of extra silver in our silver. Am I right, folks? If you were to measure the American Gold Eagle, you see that it comes out closer to 1.1. And again, that's not because I have an extra 10th ounce of gold in here. It's just that I have a little bit of silver and a little extra copper to make this thing a bit harder. And so there you have it, folks. Just a simple comparison. We've got the copper. We've got the silver. We've got the gold. We would consider gold a precious metal. We would consider silver a precious metal. And this, we don't really consider very precious. It's about $4 a pound right now, which is the highest it's been in our lifetimes, essentially $4.30. Even though this is less than $5 per pound, it's still at like the highest price that we've seen ever. And so that just speaks to how common copper is. It's really considered a base metal nowadays, even in industrial metal. But it's interesting that there's kind of this overlap. You know, in the original Olympics, and still to this day, we talk about the metals for third place being copper, second being silver, first being gold. I know that there's no such thing as a copper metal, it's a bronze metal, but bronze is an alloy that's made mostly out of copper and about 1/8 tin, maybe a few other metals mixed in. Dirty little secret here, in the modern Olympics, gold medals would just be way, way, way too expensive and valuable. So the reality is that they're made out of silver and that they're just plated in gold. So if you ever thought those Olympic champions were actually getting the gold, you're kind of wrong about that. They're gold plated in the same way something silly like this Pokemon card is gold plated. But there's a bit of an overlap here because even though silver and gold are still considered precious metals, and copper is more of a base and industrial metal, silver is also an industrial metal. Silver is a very important industrial metal as it pertains to things that require electrical conductivity. There are a lot of physical properties of silver in particular that render it a really, really, really important component of things like car batteries, for instance. Lots of electronics will have silver for the contacts in there, and so it's not only an industrial metal now, it will continue to be an industrial metal moving forward in the future, and will likely actually command even higher demand at the industrial level. And so it's just something to consider when investing in precious metals or industrial metals. There is a bit of an overlap, and silver is that intermediate metal. Do you have a favorite metal? Let's say regardless of price, I want to know, do you have a favorite metal? If price were not a consideration, do you prefer one of these over the other? I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like copper. I mean, when they're lined up here next to each other, I think they pair really, really nicely together. So copper, silver, gold, silver today, silver tomorrow, and silver forever. Stick around, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how much you love the channel, and we will see you next time.